We're live.
Hey, we're live. Sorry, I was getting all sorts of weird messages from StreamYard. Um, yeah, we're live, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, it's good to see you. We've been off for a while, so it's great to be back. Um, and we've got Rick coming in. How you
Rick
going,
is
Rick?
here. Hello, Rick.
Yeah, and Paul. How you doing, Paul? Teresa is cooking. Nice. And we've also got John coming in from Florida. How you doing, John? Good to see you. So guys, as you come in, please drop us a message. Let us know how you're doing, where you're coming in from, and we'll get started. Bob, we've been off for a while. Things have been a bit crazy down your way. What's been happening?
Oh, crazy is the word. Like we were talking about, I live in tornado country where tornadoes will come in, they'll hit a little section of the city, and a few people lose power, have a little cleanup to do, and go on with life. But the storm that came through 2 weeks ago was a massive straight line. There were no tornadoes that hit here. We just had massive straight line winds of 80 miles an hour that pounded on the city for about 30 minutes. So trees were broken, 200,000 customers were without power. It took days to get everybody back on. Well, my power was out for 3 days, and it took a week later, there were still several thousand people that did not have power. I spent a really long time out in the heat helping get the miniature golf course ready to reopen, because when Dave went out to look at it that night after the storm, he didn't think we were going to get open again this year. Everything looked so bad because the roof was missing from the building. All of our fencing was torn down. We had big, really massive trees that got split in half and were laying all over the course. We had a couple of light poles get crushed. A lot of the carpeting got ripped up off of the holes, and it's glued to the concrete.
Wow.
And so I spent several really long, hot days out there getting the golf course open again. And in the middle of all that, the camper top on my truck out in the driveway got smashed by a tree limb. So he had to come down here and help me cut that off and get it out of there. And so I'm still working on cleanup here around the house. I just about got the front yard ready to mow. Hopefully I'll get the rest of the twigs and branches out of the front yard piled along the curb and get my front yard cut tomorrow sometime. But we'll see. It's been really, really hard couple of weeks of work. And on top of all that, once we got the golf course ready to open, the weather changed and it went from 95 to 100 degrees down to 70 for the high for an entire week leading into school. So with the fantastic temperatures and school starting school started yesterday here. All of that added up to right after we got open at the miniature golf course, it was insanely busy for the next 5 days. So I've just been basically living on a prayer and sunshine for the last 2 weeks, and it was really nice to get 2 nights of sleep. Finally.
Well,
because the thing that has changed for me now that school has started is that my schedule lightens up. I don't have to go to the golf course 4 days a week. I only go in 2 days a week now because we're not open full-time hours. During the summer, we open at 10 o'clock in the morning and stay there till 11 o'clock at night. Now that school has started during the week, we don't open till 3 in the afternoon as schools are letting out for the day.
That's a long working day.
That is
crazy long working day.
How
many breaks do you get in that time?
Breaks? If you're
You
the
can't
only
get
one
any.
there, you just lock the cash drawer and go around and use the restroom, do whatever. There's no breaks in miniature golf.
Wow. So, like, I mean, I'm really sorry to hear about like the storm coming through and the destruction and the amount of work you've had to do. But as we spoke about before we came online, imagine how much worse this would have been if it had happened 2 years ago and you like before Carnivore for you, like, and having to do all this work.
Yeah, well, I couldn't have done it. I mean, I was out there carrying because the tree service. The only thing tree services are doing right now is if you have a branch sticking into your house, they will come take care of that. But Dave got a friend of his who has a tree service come out to the course, and he didn't have time or the equipment to take the stuff away. So he tied off all the branches and lowered them to the ground, and we had to cut them up and carry them out of the course ourselves. So,
Right.
like my
Wow.
neighbor, I mean, I feel very fortunate here because my neighbor next door had basically a half of a tree broke off and went through his roof. And it was probably about 20 or 24 inches across. So it was a good 2 foot, and it punched a hole 15 foot deep through his roof.
Wow. That's, yeah.
So
Wow.
it's been very busy, but 2 years ago I couldn't have done any of this. I would have just had to sit here and hope that somebody came and got stuff done for me because there was no way I could have done all this work.
Mm. I mean, like you were you kind of also not working as much at the golf at that time? Because like
Oh
would that have
no,
been
back
hard
no.
working
All
schedule
I
as
did at the
well, right?
golf course from because Dave actually bought a stool for me at the golf course after my heart surgery
Yeah.
so that I could come down to the course. It was more of a pity job than anything else, so that I could go down to the course, sit on the stool in the clubhouse, and talk to customers because that is my main strength is talking with people. Who knew Bob actually likes to talk? But yeah, I was from the time I got done with my heart surgery till when I started to recover on carnivore. I was down to only going out to the course for about 4 or 5 hours a week. And I would just
Mm.
sit there and talk to people. And now I'm working, long days and doing all the stuff and the things. And it's been great actually being able to do all of this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I've certainly
Yeah.
gotten very tired over the last couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
it's helped me realize that while I'm healthy and I am much stronger than I was 2 years ago, I have lowered my expectations for how much work I'll be able to get done each year down at my square of property because I assume I will get stronger with time, but right now I will feel very fortunate this year if I get the ground cleared in a big enough spot and get the shipping container spotted this winter. That's the only goal I really have for this winter now. I had plans
Right.
to either start the fence or start the roof, but I think just getting the ground prepped and getting the shipping container spotted on site is about all I can expect to get done this year.
Right. Maybe, yeah, it's gonna be a longer project than you'd expected. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Mm. Yeah.
It'll give me something to
Yeah.
piddle around with until the day I die.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So just to say hello to some people coming in. We've got Peter
Sure.
coming in. It's 11:30 in the Netherlands. We've got oh, where are we? Neil um Neil coming in. We got Just a Man. Thank you very much, Just a Man. I verified the like button works. Everyone should do the same. That's very
Yes.
nice of you. Thank you very much. Raj, hi Dave. I know a 70-plus-year-old mom reversed type 2 diabetes with low carb, not carnivore. Will you interview her? Yep. Shoot me an email, realzerocarb@gmail.com. Love to have her on. Thanks, Raj. And wow, that's awesome. 70 years old. She's reversed the type 2 diabetes. That's great. Susie, how you doing?
Hello, Susie and Josephine.
Josephine, how you doing? And Jack, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to have you on. Melinda, perfect timing. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in while you're driving home from work. And Jack, admittedly strange to hear you all speak at 1 time speed, lol. Usually listening at 2 times. And Nathan, good morning. How you doing? And we've got Mandy coming in. Mandy, is it kind of late at night for you? No, you're coming in from the UK. Is that right? If my memory is correct. And Elwood, what luck eating a ribeye fresh off the grill and notice you're alive. Oh no, you're making me hungry. You're making me
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah, because I was gonna wait till after this stream to eat, but I was getting a little hungry, so I threw 5 burger patties in my air fryer because it only do 5 at a time, and then after the live, I'm gonna go make 5 more.
Oh, nice. Oh, lovely. And how I've got my air fryer, but I've only used it once and for a steak. How long does it take to do the patties in the air fryer? Is that like just a minute
I
or
throw
something?
my hamburger patties in frozen, and once it's preheated, I put it on 395 for about 15 minutes,
Oh, okay. Nice.
and it cooks them from frozen to crispy goodness.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm really hungry now. I'm looking at the
Yeah.
air fryer over in the corner there too. And okay. So Lewis is coming in from New
New York
York,
City.
New York City. We got Peter coming in. How you going, Peter? Good to see you. And Robin, subscribe to both of us. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Very
thanks,
kind of you,
Robin.
Robin. Oh, we got a question
A
already from
question.
Jack. So I should say, anyone, if you've got a question, please punch them into the chat and just put a Q in front so we can find it easily. So Jack, trying a bit of beef sausage mince, opinions on the blend versus straight beef, efficacy. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that one, Bob?
If you like it, and it's a fairly low carb sausage, because all sausage is going to have some kind of carb to it. It just is. But if you can get a low enough carb sausage so that your mix comes out to basically 1 carb per serving of sausage, and since we're carnivores, we tend to eat 5 or 6 servings at a time. You know, if your meal is, you know, somewhere between 5 and 15 carbs, it's, if that's all the carb you're having for the day, I wouldn't worry about it. And as long as you like it and the spices in the sausage don't cause any reaction, I see no reason not to have it. Now, I'm a big fan of just beef, but as I always say, there's no one true correct way to do this. So if you like it and it keeps you on track, I don't see anything wrong with it. Got any other thoughts on that, Dave?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, pretty much echo your comments. If you can get low enough carb and it's working for you, then go at it. Thanks for your question, Jack. Brooke said, I had amazingly tender lamb chops for lunch. They were so mouth-watering. So everyone's making me hungry. So, and the reason is that just to jump forward a little bit. Well, I missed it. Sorry. Lewis is saying, I'm fasting today, all the food talk. So this is why I'm hungry. So currently I'm on 72 hours of fasting. So I'm doing a little bit of a reset, and yeah, that's why I'm hungry as well. So 72 hours in. So I'm just going to see how long I can go. I'm feeling great, but yeah, the thought, just the thought of the patties and the thought of the steak and the air fryer and the lamb chops, it's yeah,
Mhm.
it's making me feel like, okay, maybe 72 hours is my limit. uh, Rich, hi folks, coming in from Hamilton, Ontario. Good to have you in, Rich. And Mandy, not too late, really. 11:45 p.m. You guys' lives brings lots of relaxation. Oh,
Glad
that's
to hear
very
that,
nice of you
Mandy.
to say. Nathan, be honest, Bob. Do you clean the air fryer after every use? I don't.
Okay, my air fryer is not a standard air fryer. It's an oven style. So it has a drip tray. And I wipe that off because if I don't, the grease collects on it, plus the drippings off the burgers collect on it, and it gets really gross. So the way I actually clean that is that once it cools off enough, but the grease is still hot, I actually dump that into my cast iron skillet to give it a good layer of beef tallow. And then I let that drain into my grease bin. And then the rack, I pull that out and soak it for about 20 minutes in a sink full of hot water. And that makes it come clean. I don't actually clean the inside of the air fryer because it's got heating elements up at the top that make it really hard to get a rag up in there and do anything. So I don't actually worry about cleaning the inside of the air fryer, but I do the holding basket and the drip tray every time.
Wow. Yeah, I think 72 hours is definitely my limit at this point. Brooks says, Nathan, we only clean ours 2 or 3 times a month. Okay. Yeah. Paul, I sometimes do half ground pork and half ground beef. I spice to my taste. Ah, nice. Nice.
Yeah, and
And you
that's
do
sort
all
of the
right
way
with the
mince
pork,
comes in
Paul?
Japan, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's a 60-40, yeah, 40% pork. But yeah, I always wonder, like, would I feel better if it was 100% beef, or does it not make much of a difference? So I'd love to be able to test it, but basically I can't here because there's no option to get 100% beef. So interested if Paul feels any different when he's doing the ground pork. Oh, look at that. Biltong got some bacon cooking. So you're hitting me 2 ways here. You're talking about biltong, and you also got the bacon going. Okay. So DS111, I've started eating cheese every day now to put on a little weight, and I've added 1 more egg every morning. Is that working for you? Because I think if I was doing the cheese again every day, I would probably have put on a bit of weight. How about you, Bobby? Do you have cheese still?
Once in a great while, I will have some cheese. I just finished off a package that was in the fridge, and I'm not planning on buying any for the next several grocery hauls. I get Swiss cheese, and I buy it pre-sliced so that after I put my ground beef into a bowl, I can just lay a couple slices of Swiss cheese on top of it, pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and it melts down through it. And that's what I have occasionally, but it takes me several weeks to go through one package Swiss cheese slices, and then I don't have it for quite some time. And since it's the middle of August, I'm somewhere between 30 and 45 days from moving to Texas. So I probably will not have grilled cheese till I get back up here, not have the cheese again till I get back up here in the spring.
Right. And is there a reason that you go for the Swiss cheese? Is it a taste thing or?
It's a taste thing.
Yeah.
Is it good for me? Probably not, but I like it, so I have it.
It's so long since I had Swiss cheese. I can't remember what the taste is like. Is it kind of a neutral taste? It's not too strong. That's my memory, or
I like it. I don't know how to describe it. People that like Swiss cheese, and those that don't. I mean, I do like a good sharp cheddar too, but
okay,
Swiss
so
cheese
it's
is the
not
thing
as
that's
strong
normally
as it's not as strong as a cheddar.
No.
Okay, yeah.
But it's pretty good, and it adds just enough different flavor to a ground beef bowl from time to time. Like I said, I don't do it very often, but I do occasionally throw a little Swiss cheese on a ground beef bowl.
Nice. Biltong, I will fry some sardines in bacon fat. Hope I don't get a gout attack from the sardines. That's an interesting combination, sardines and bacon fat. What do you reckon, Bob? You're
I'm not a
into the
big fan of
sardines,
sardines, but back on the occasion, I don't do it so much anymore because I just don't do much fish of any kind. But back when I had some salmon pieces to cook up, I don't really care for salmon, but salmon is what everybody says you should eat because it's a good fatty fish. So I tricked my brain into thinking I was eating bacon by frying the salmon halves in bacon grease.
How was it?
It was good. It made it taste like a big thick piece of bacon with a little bit of salmony flavor to it.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much anything is better cooked in bacon fat, but there's nothing in the sardines or bacon fat that should cause your gout to flare up at all, because gout is inflammation. It's not caused by meat. It's not caused by fish or bacon or any of that stuff. Gout is caused by inflammation.
Yeah. As long as those sardines are fructose free, you should do okay as far as the gout goes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just a man eating my poor man's ribeye for lunch at work. Oh no, enjoy. So I'm hoping the carnivore way of eating will alleviate my gout issues. Well, it did okay for you, Bob, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had major gout attacks for 40 years, and I have not had a single gout attack since I went carnivore, not one. And I used to take a lot of drugs for that, and I haven't had a gout attack in over 2 years now, because it's an inflammation issue. They keep, all of the literature out there that talks about gout talks about how red meat will make it worse, and fatty meat and fish and all that other stuff will make it worse, and how you're only supposed to eat 2 ounces of meat a couple of times a week if you have gout, because it's so bad for you, all the purines in meat. But it's not. Dr. Barry has a couple of really good gout videos there where he explains this much better than I can, but gout is an inflammation issue. It has nothing to do with uric acid or any of that other stuff. It's an inflammation issue. So nothing in the sardines or bacon grease should harm your gout at all.
Nice. Jack's got another question. Thank you, Jack. Any thoughts on the recently announced Peterson Academy, Michaela et al. Education Labor of Love announced on Joe Rogan? I've heard about this. My thoughts are, it's probably a good thing, because it's probably it draws. I think it's a good thing for many reasons. Probably, it's good education. It'll probably be good educationally, but also I think it draws attention to the fact that universities and educational institutions are probably not doing the job that they're meant to be doing anymore, which is allowing people to test ideas. It's like it's the my way or the highway ideas, it seems, in universities at the moment. Those are my thoughts. Bob, how about you?
I haven't heard anything about it. I have been busy with. I haven't watched hardly anything on YouTube or TV or anything in the last 2 weeks because I have been busy, very, very
Right.
busy trying to clean up from storm damage. I hadn't heard anything. This is the first I've heard about it. I'm sure I'll catch up to it eventually. Anything Michaela Peterson is doing is probably a good thing because she's a really good spokesman for this way of life, considering
Yeah.
everything that she went through. But I haven't actually heard anything about it.
Mandy, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Brooke, I tried ribeye hamburger for the first time yesterday. It was super flavorful. Oh, wow. Ribeye hamburger. Nice.
Yeah, you can get those. They're really expensive, so I don't buy them. But there's a fairly famous meat place here in Omaha called Omaha Steaks, and you can order their regular burgers, or they sell ribeye burgers, and they actually sell a filet mignon burger, and they're all very good. But I don't like their prices, even if I go to a local store and buy it locally rather than having it shipped. It's still really expensive. I tend to go for the $2.99 a pound ground beef chub from Walmart.
So I don't eat a lot of steaks unless I'm eating out at a restaurant, and I don't eat out that much anymore. So for me, I feel like filet mignon is a lot less fatty than a ribeye, right?
Oh yeah.
What, like, cost-wise, is a ribeye more expensive or?
Oh no, filet mignon is really expensive because there's a smaller piece of it. If you ever get a porterhouse steak, it's like, well, it has a bone in it. It's like a big T-bone.
Yeah.
And the smaller side of it is actually the filet mignon.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, that's filet mignon is very expensive, and I don't buy that kind of stuff here. Even though I live in Omaha, Nebraska. Steaks here are cheap compared to everywhere else, but they're still out of my price range most of the time because I'm spending money on other things.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of along the lines of you, Bob. I think the majority of the time it's just ground beef. So yeah.
Ground beef and eggs. I mean, $2.99 a pound ground beef when you buy it on sale. If it's not on sale, it's $3.50 a pound. And then, I get 18 eggs I get a 2-pack of 18. So I get 36 eggs for like $5 and some change. So
right.
That's a really cheap way to eat a lot of food.
Yeah. Yeah. Dancing with Life. Oh, Bridget, hello. Hey, Dave is a carnivore working machine. Thanks for the fun interview, Dave. So I was telling you before, Bob, that just before we came on, I did an interview, and that was with Bridget. So yeah, I've just finished talking to Bridget and then came on to the live.
Great.
So good to see you again this morning, Bridget, and yeah, be getting your interview out today. Okay, well, Kobe, greetings from the Netherlands. I bought 18 kilos of lamb today. Lovely. Oh, nice.
That sounds really good. I like lamb. It's just usually really expensive here, so I don't get it very often, except on those occasional holidays when it's on sale.
Yeah, I like lamb as well. It's very difficult to get in Japan though, because it's not popular in Japan at all. Lewis, I'm fasting with the goal of 72 hours as well, currently at 23 hours. The worst, probably the struggle time for me was like between 48 hours and 60 hours. Um, that was, well, 48 hours and 50 odd hours. That was kind of when my body was saying, you need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat. But salt is good. Salt is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, only do it like once a month. My new grocery store sells it. What was it? Oh, pork once a month. The minced pork. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Carnivore Keith. I can't stand 100% beef. I always mix some ground pork in, but I prefer steak. Interesting. Wow.
And see, I
100%
like
beef. You
ground
don't
beef.
like it. Yeah.
I like pork
Uh,
on occasion too, but I like ground beef.
yeah. I mean, I like the 60/40 one that I have no choice but to buy in Japan. But yeah, I think I'd probably enjoy the 100% more. That's interesting. Rick, there are only two cheeses I hate, American and Swiss. You tell the truth, Rick. You only dislike the Swiss because it's got the hole, so there's less of it, right? So Brooks got a question. Dave, can't you take a beef roast to your butcher or meat counter and have them grind it or get your own grinder? I know in Japan there is obviously limited room in flats, but is that an option? Yeah, probably if I brought a grinder into the house, my wife would be hitting me over the head with it because it'd be taking up so much space. But there's not a lot of butchers in Japan. You basically just got the supermarket stuff, and like if you said to them, "Can you take this out the back and grind it?" They'd probably like, "Huh, huh, you crazy foreigner, get away from me." So yeah. There's kind of in Japan, everything's like it's this way or it's kind of like it's the my way or the highway. There's not a lot of options here. Um, okay, lambs. You could purchase a mincer. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, again, my wife probably wouldn't like the space being taken up by that. Um, Rick, cheddar is better. So my favorite cheese is Parmesan. That's Parmesan's the one for me. Like not the one that comes in the shaker, the actual real hard cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good too.
yeah. Raj, I like meat sous vide, nice and slow and tender. What about AGE with high temp in the air fryer? AGE is advanced glycation end products. Is that right? Um, yeah, I've only used my air fryer once, so I've got no idea. Any thoughts on that, Bob?
AGE is crap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stop and think about it, did we have fancy machines thousands of years ago? Or is it more likely that they stuck their meat on a stick and held it over the fire?
Hmm. Right.
It's
Okay.
it's a bunch of hooey. You can watch Professor K and Dr. Barry and Dr. Baker and all of those talk about it on a fairly regular basis. But charring meat is not bad for you.
Right. Right.
It just isn't.
Okay.
Or we wouldn't be here as a species because when we first discovered fire all those millennia ago, they would basically just take a haunch of meat and hold it over the fire until it was
Mm.
charred. And if
Yeah.
charring meat was bad for you, we wouldn't be here.
Mm.
That's my opinion. I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor. I don't even play one on TV, but that's my opinion.
Nice. So just a quick update. We have got 110 people in the stream at the moment, and it's been over 100 for a good while now. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Um, if you haven't smashed like yet, please do so, and that'll bring some more people in. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
And Aid's saying Venezuelan beaver cheese. Yeah, very nice. That's from Monty Python Cheese Shop, is it? I think that from my memory. Yeah, I love a bit of Venezuelan beaver cheese in the morning. That's awesome. Nathan, Swiss cheese, neutral taste. See what you did there. Yeah. Good point. Yes, yes, nice. Brooke, I make a great rockfish and no chips, but use pork rinds as the breading. Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, I've done that, not so much with I don't know what rockfish is, but I've done that with some salmon quarters before. I'll take that, dip the salmon in a little bit of egg and then into some crushed up pork rinds, and then throw it into a skillet full of bacon grease and let it fry up. That's pretty good that way.
Yeah.
And I can see Dave's wheels spinning there. He's like, man, I got to get some food now. We're going to end the stream early so Dave can rush off and get some food.
I was just thinking, even after the stream, I can't. I've got one more interview coming up. So it's going to be my limit, I think, is going to be 74 hours. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be running. I'm never gonna be running as fast to the supermarket as I've done. I'll be at the checkout going, come on, come on, come on. The person in front of me, hurry up and buy that cereal and let me get my ground beef. Okay. This is an internal conversation here. Rick, I see you like Carnivore Felix channel. I do, and feel like I'm the first time getting in on the ground floor with a Carnivore YouTuber. Yeah, I found Carnivore Felix the other day as well. Yeah, good channel. Switzerland is controlled by the owners of the State Department. Okay. John, how you doing?
Hello, John.
Thanks for joining. Okay. And Bridget, I totally abuse cheese like right now, but I'm working on discipline. Yeah, cheese is it's really easy to get hooked, right? Like if I take the cheese out of the bag, like shredded cheese out of the bag, or cut off a little hunk of cheese and have it, I can't just stop there. I've got to keep going. So, yeah, it's better for me, like Bob's doing, just to add a little bit of cheese into something I'm cooking, and then it's not as addictive. Yeah. Yeah, more Monty Python cheddar. We don't get much call for it around these parts. Yeah. Sunny likes cats. Hi to all and Dave. 7:46 a.m. in the Blue Mountains, Sydney region. Rain finally stopped, sun peeking through. I made hand-rolled skinless sausages. Oh, nice.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And that description, Blue Mountains, rain stopped, sun peeking through. That sounds great too. Yeah, a bit cold there still. Sunny likes cats. Yeah, coming into spring now. Rick, yeah, I appreciate Carnivore Felix in his videos. I've started with several new YouTube carnivores. Nice. Okay. Where are we? Here we go. Tony Vergara. Hi, gentlemen. I love your channel, Dave, but this is my first live with you. I'm transitioning at the moment and nearly ready to go full in. Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you for your wonderful channel from California. Nice. Thanks for joining in, Tony. Oh, okay. So Nate's got a note here about gout. Gout is caused by oxalates, sugars, and alcohol. Yeah. Yeah. Meat gets the blame unnecessarily for gout. Yeah.
It's the inflammation caused by sugars and alcohol, not the actual sugar and alcohol itself. Gout is an inflammatory disorder.
Uh, okay. And Nathan, careful, Dave. We're all on RWNJ these days, apparently. What's RWNJ?
I don't know.
I'm not down with the kids. I don't know what these acronyms all
I
stand for. I've got to Google this. Hang on. RWN, right wing nut job.
oh
Well, yeah, basically these days, unless you are like, blue head bellshine kind of, over like so far over, I'm pointing in the wrong direction, so far over to the left, like it's crazy that everyone's a right wing nut job these days. It's if you read a newspaper, you're a right wing nut job. It's like you're tarred. Everyone's tarred with the same brush these days. Um, why why would anyone ground up a ribeye steak? I'm not sure.
so that they can
Yeah,
have ribeye hamburgers.
yeah, ribeye hamburgers. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes, like, right now, I'm okay with the fat on meat, right? But when I was younger, I didn't like the fat on meat, so that would be a good reason to grind it up, right? Just to so that you don't have to have that kind of texture thing if you don't like the texture of fat. Or an iguana burger. Yeah, I'm gonna get to Florida one of these days. I want to have an iguana burger with you, Rick. That'd be nice. Um, and lambs, good on you, Tony. Yeah, enjoy the ride.
Yes.
Uh, Yeah, and DS triple one. I do not like green eggs in iguana. Is this? Um, and we've got Uncle Big Guy. Howdy all. Hi Bob and Dave. How you doing, Uncle Big Guy?
Uncle Big Guy from down in Kansas.
Yeah. Uh, I like green iguana. Okay. Uh, let's see. The ribeye hamburger was only like $6.99 a pound. Okay, nice. Uh, yep. Aid says ground beef is really just lots of mini steaks all close together. So enjoy your steak. I agree. It's all just lots of little steaks. Yeah. And the thing about the ground beef is it's kind of like every part of the cow, right? So you're gonna get some good bits that you would like not ordinarily get in your in just a regular steak, right? Like some of the organs and stuff like that. Um, 18 kilos is one lamb. Oh, I'm not sure where that came from. Um, Okay, question from John. Dave, is most of the beef in Japan domestic or do they import a lot of beef? No, it's probably about I would say 50, maybe 50% is local, and then the rest is kind of 50-50 split. The remaining 50% is 50-50 split between from America and from Australia. Okay, and we've got Mike. I eat so much lamb shoulder, I can tell which country it's from. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, where is the best lamb from? I mean, the majority probably comes from where? New Zealand and Australia, I guess. Um, where's the best
Yeah.
lamb from? Is that New Zealand lamb? Oh, the answer is directly underneath. I need to fix my eyesight, I think. Australia has the best lamb.
Uh-huh.
Okay, interesting. And thank you for the second super chat for and that
Thanks,
one's
Mandy.
on
Really
Bob.
appreciate that.
Yeah, nice. Thank you so much, Mandy. Okay, Peter. I'm dry aging some lamb shoulder in the fridge right now. Oh, nice. Okay. And no, 8. I make my own ground beef. 10% beef heart, 20% beef liver, 30% beef fat, 40% beef meat. Nutritionally dense superfood. Nice. Okay. Good question here from Archie. Does anyone use apple cider vinegar in their water or fresh lemon? I don't. Bob, do you?
I do not. I've heard Dr. Barry talk about this a lot. If apple cider vinegar or lemon makes it taste good, so you get more water down, I don't think it'll actually hurt you. But be aware, especially fresh lemon, that's fructose. So you want to be very careful with that. And apple cider vinegar does not have any magic properties like they used to try and tell us it did. But if you like it, there's no reason not to use it because vinegar is vinegar.
Hmm. So speaking of lemon, I had a sip of some freshly squeezed lemon a couple of months ago, and I was astounded at how different it tasted compared to before I went on Carnivore. Like before I went on Carnivore, lemon tasted sour. And when I had this sip of freshly squeezed lemon juice a couple of months ago, it was so sweet. It was such a strange taste. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so subsequently haven't had that again. Um, so Sunny likes cats. I am in mourning. I just found out my eldest daughter is doing a nutrition degree at uni. We currently are in disagreement about everything food related. Yeah, I guess doing a nutrition degree, you're gonna you're gonna get all the the kind of standard balance, and it's all about the rainbow and stuff. But to get the degree, she's just got to go through it, and hopefully, on the other side of that, she'll kind of discover that she can use that nutrition degree and actually understand there's more to it than just the balance in the rainbow. So yeah, I hope you can kind of have some influence there. Sunny likes cats. um okay. I'm very behind with these comments. Sorry, guys. I'm probably showing. Here we go. Here's a question from Brooke. Is there a Jewish kosher store to go to in Japan? They don't eat pork because it's not kosher. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. As Japan's not all that multicultural, but as multicultural places go, where I live is somewhat that way. So there might be. So I'll have to check that out. That's a good option. Thank you, Brooke. That's a good suggestion. Thank you. Um, yeah, cheddar. I'm a bit addicted since going carnivore. Yeah, I'm the same. If it's just eating the block of cheese, yeah, I can't stop. Um,
That's why I don't keep it in the house. I buy the pre-sliced stuff, and like I said, once a week or so, I'll get a couple of slices out and throw it on my ground beef bowl.
mm, yeah, yeah. If I'm mixing it with something, it's okay, but just eating it on its own, I can't put it down. It's terrible.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice one. Biltong, I need some carnival candy bacon.
yeah,
Nice.
or some brown butter bites.
Oh yeah. I still got to try that. Have you made that?
Once,
Yeah.
um,
Did it
I ate
taste
way
good?
too. Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was great. Um, let's just say I ended up having a little bit too much fat that day, and when you have too much fat, things come out the other end quickly.
Yes.
And I ate way too much fat that day because it was like having crack. I just could not put it down till they were gone. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I discovered with rendered fat. I have to be very careful with the amount of rendered fat that comes out of the ground beef. So yeah, I've got to drain it. Otherwise, yeah, something else is being drained. So uh Teresa, thanks, Dave. I found some carnival friends. Oh, that's awesome. So Teresa was on the channel the other day, and I guess some people have reached out to Teresa. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. I am one of the carnivores who still likes coffee. I'm one of the carnivores that still likes coffee too. I just know it's not so good for me. I was adding butter and heavy whipping cream, but something was making me sleepy. I think it was a heavy whipping cream, and I've eliminated it. Okay. Nice. Okay. Jack's got a question. Content idea. Dave, have you thought about creating a thoughts after 2 years of interviews? I just listed out all of the conditions that have reversed, improved, halted, etc. case study. That's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a nice idea. I'll put that on my list. I've got to hang on. You know what I'll do? So I don't have to spend 3 years writing this down because I'm a slow writer. I'm just going to take a screenshot of that comment. Thank you very much, Jack. Okay. So Aid says, I transitioned and I identify as Alf from Melmac. Alf's back.
Yeah. And there is a super chat with a question that just popped in all the way at the bottom.
Okay, let's get to that. All right. So from Captain Awesome, thank you very much for the super chat. Did you take allopurinol for gout?
Allopurinol for gout. And how did you stop gout meds? I just stopped. That I know it sounds crazy, but the day I started carnivore, I just stopped taking gout meds. And I expected to have a gout attack, but I never did. Because gout is not an allopurinol deficiency.
Wow.
And I just stopped taking it.
I mean, I'm a bit of a risk taker, I would say, like that. Weren't you concerned at all, Bob?
I was, but I had so many. Watch Dr. Barry's videos on gout, which is what drew me to it originally. And he explains it very well. The things that the allopurinol is doing to your system is not really very good for you. So if you end up, because most people that have gout when they start carnivore, they have one more pretty serious gout attack, and then they don't ever have another one. You might keep it around for a week or so, but after watching Dr. Barry's videos, the day I started carnivore is the day I threw away my statins and threw away my allopurinol.
Wow. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I respect you just from going, no, I'm starting carnivore, so I'm just going to give it up. I just respect that kind of, I'm just going to take the plunge. I like that.
Yeah, and remember, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but I seriously, if you have not watched all of if you just put it in the YouTube search bar, type in Dr. Barry Gout. He's got 3 or 4 of them that'll pop up, and watch them all.
Nice. Okay. Someone had a question. Okay, here. So Acid Thunder, anyone use Bovril at all? Has some bad stuff in it, but wonder if it's okay now and then. Do you have Bovril in the US, Bob?
I don't even know what that is.
So I think Bovril's like stock, basically like beef stock, I think. So which I don't, but I think that it has like some I always thought it had like some MSG and stuff like that in there as well. So that's probably why I would avoid it. But yeah, it's probably not gonna it's probably not gonna kill you now and like if you're having it now and then. But I would say to get the same kind of effect, you're better off just having some boiled water with salt in it than having like boiled water with Bovril in it, because you're going to get the same kind of nice saltiness out of it and none of the bad effects
And if
of
Bovril is like a stock, just save all your bones from your ribeyes and your ribs and everything else and put them in a big pot of boiling water and make your own stock.
mm,
Make it like a bone broth, but then you can add some spices to it, and
yeah.
it
And
should be the same thing, only better because you made it yourself.
Aid's got a good point here. Bovril, is it made by Kraft or Nestle? If so, then it's bad. Very good point. Yeah, nice. Oh, so, okay.
And then
No.
there's another one on down there. Somebody just said Bovril has starches, wheat, oat,
Uh,
and rye. Looking at the label.
okay. A good winter drink too, but bone broth be better. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And tall cedars. I stopped drinking lemon water as it neutralized my stomach acid and caused me acid reflux, giving even with a teaspoon of juice. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, yeah. And Bovril's probably, yeah, pretty similar to the taste of Vegemite. Yeah. Yeah, I miss Vegemite, but yeah, it's probably. Do you like Vegemite, Bob?
I have no idea what that is. The only thing I know about Vegemite is that it was in a song back in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, who was that? Was that Men at Work?
Men at Work, Vegemite
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Uh,
Vegemite is, but we all sang along
well,
with it when we were
it's
in our
it's
30s.
it's pretty good stuff, Bob, but it's misunderstood by a lot of people because I think, when people first see it, they think it's like Nutella, and because it looks like chocolate spread or something, and then they taste it and it's got a salty taste, and then like, what is this? You're trying to poison me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're almost at an hour now. So I'm just scanning to see if there's any more questions. Don't I don't think I don't think I missed any. Yeah, that's a Japan imports a lot of our beef from the I don't even know how you say it, Antipodes, and some from the US. Is that right? Antipodes? I'm always worried with words like that with an E on the end, like I mispronounced it, like hyperbole. When you hear someone say hyperbole, and it's like, I don't think that's the right way to say it. Yeah, I think we're. Joff's here. How you doing, Joff? Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Adelaide. I'm going to be meeting all of my heroes in Adelaide. There's going to be meeting Joff and Anthony and Melissa and Bart Kay and Anthony Chafee. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I've seen the ads for that, and I would really like to go, but it's either pay for a trip to Adelaide or work on my homestead because it would be about it would take all of the money I have saved for running my home to build my homestead to get over to Australia.
Yeah. It's a bit of a hike from Omaha to Adelaide, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's just
literally the other
like,
side of the world.
yeah. If someone had asked me a year ago, where do you think you'll meet Bart Kay and Kerry Mann and Bella and Anthony Chafee? The last place I would have said is Adelaide. And
Before we go, we got one quick question there underneath that triple
oh
Q's
yeah,
underneath that comment there.
nice. And I hope you can make it. Jack, how fanatical do you get about PFAS chemicals, plastics and aluminum foil? I personally, I don't think about it. How about you, Bob?
I don't even really think about it that much. I do try and limit that stuff, but I do like aluminum foil. I wrap my big roasts in it when I put them in the oven. Well, I put them over top of the pan like a roof over the top of the pan. And, I've stopped drinking out of plastic cups as much. That's why I bought this metal thing to drink my water out of, and I have some more metal cups coming that I'm going to put in my kit to take down there. I think it's so pervasive now that it's really hard to avoid. But if we take if we make a conscious effort to eliminate it where we can, that will help. But again, aluminum foil is just too handy and keeps cleanup really easy when I'm doing like a 10-pound pork butt roast.
Yeah. Yeah. So just before we finish up, Aid, looking forward to seeing you in Brisbane. And Ari, there's an event in Adelaide in November. Send me an email to realzerocarb@gmail.com and I'll send you the link to it if you want to get involved. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Really great to have you with us. And yeah, really appreciate everyone joining in, questions, comments. Bob.
Thanks for being here today, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I like these live streams because we get to basically just sit here and talk with you for an hour. But remember, get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day.
See you in a couple of weeks, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming out.
Cheers, guys.